Ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about news plays and generalized conviction. When we started adding news flow into the room, I have noticed that a lot of people have become very consistently profitable. Some people don't like the news, some people feel it's too fast, and some people they're supporting their families and saving money for their future and more off it alone. There is sound, right? Can you guys hear me? Please don't no sound me if there's sound. Let there be audio. Sake, restart. If no sound, come on. All right. Um, or I don't know what you have to do, but do it. Okay. News flow is king. Yeah. So some people news flow is king, and other people like, should I keep doing it? I don't know. It's not working for me. So I'm going to break down how I interpret it. Now, I need to point out you're not going to go to some crappy website online that's going to explain this to you and is going to say, which basically in our industry, news flow is horrible, according to most traders, because every single trader wants to offer you a trading course that has to do only with technical analysis, which is, again, look, I have respect for technical analysis. It's a lot of what I do, it's a lot of what all traders do, what I sit on, but it's not everything. But how do you really I mean, charts are so defined. Charts are so defined. You have a high, you have a low, you have an open, you have a close, you have this, you have moving averages, Fibonacci, other indicators, and others, and others, and others, and others, and you pile them together and you look for statistical frequencies of what happens, buy through these things, and then figure, okay, I'm gonna, try to make money consistently based off what I'm saying. Sounds great, right? But the problem is, for just about everyone, sometimes you see the perfect setup, you try it and it fails, and sometimes it just wins, and then you win, and you think you're onto something, then it fails, and you're sitting there, and you have no idea why the strategy just suddenly stopped working. Which is why I'm very strict on what I consider a strategy. There is sound. Sorry for shouting in your ears. I figured shouting would, if they had no sound, me raising my voice would make them hear me. That wasn't too smart. Anyway, my apologies to everyone. The point I'm making is, idiot Mark, you idiot Mark. Point I'm making is, it's been a long. You got to forgive me. I was up 5:30 this morning, and up until this point, I still haven't stopped moving, nonstop. Which is why all the ladies in the room are like, Mark, take a vacation. And be honest, how many of you guys would be sad if I took a vacation? Be honest. I mean, I know you want the best for me, but you'd be sad. I mean, heck, I'd be sad. I'd miss you guys. Me, I would be sad. I'd be on the vacation like, Mark, what's wrong? I know you guys. Anyway, um, I don't mind taking vacations. It's called a 2-day weekend. Get your butt back by Monday, right? Then I'm all for it. Okay, anyway. And where am I going to do? You think I'm going to fly? I don't even know. I'm so delusional to what's happening in the outside world right now, which is ironic because I'm a news guy and I really am on top of a lot of things in the outside world. I don't even know if I could go buy a plane ticket, and I don't know where I could fly to. I don't know which states will allow me to go there. I have no idea. Are the plane tickets I don't are they really expensive because there's fewer people on the flight? Are there fewer people on the flight? Is there a flight? I don't know the answers to these questions. Again, what I sit on, but I want to share with you guys generalized conviction terms Generalized conviction terms. Generalized conviction terms for news flow. So it's generalized terms. You want to turn this into a mathematical science? Good luck, because I'm making this up on the fly. And yes, it's very accurate and relevant. I don't know the exact mathematical values. It's funny, in chess, how many of you guys play chess? I mean, I'm not saying you still play chess, but how many have played chess? I mean, yeah, I play chess. And they say, yeah, I'm sure you are, Ryan. Uh, they say the pawns are worth 1 point. And does she? That's so awesome. The 5-year-old? My son doesn't. Probably his father's fault. Um, okay. Anyway, the pawns are worth what? No, Kevin. The pawns are worth 1 point. The knights are worth 3 points, and they say the bishop is worth like 3.5 points. They say the rooks are worth 5, and the queen is worth 9. In English, if you need to give up your queen in chess, which is worth 9 points, to take your opponent's two rooks, which are worth 5 each at 10 points, it is considered a good trade. It is considered a good trade. So, that's an exact mathematical science. Me, I'm not going to give you an exact mathematical science. I'm just going to give you conviction terms from very low, low, medium, high, very high, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Here, I'll make it easier to see. So I could use numbers just so we can make life easy. But Mark, are two lows worth a high? And if you start asking questions like that, I'm going to projectile vomit into the webcam. I have no idea. Please, this is a generalization, but it's accurate and it will be helpful. Don't take it too literally. Take it generally. Hence the word generalized. Okay? Beautiful. Now we have generalized terms. We have a rating system. All right. Let us begin. Company tweet 1. Company deal. Blah, blah, blah. Police body cams. Blah, blah, blah. COVID 19, whether it's a test kit, whether it's a vaccine, whether it's, you know, I don't know. You fart into a napkin and it turns purple if you're suffering from COVID. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter what they say. That is that is a that is about that is about a 3. That is about a 3. Company exploring sale, which is potential buyout. I mean, it depends how it's said. If they say the company is exploring the sale or a potential buyout, it's usually a 4 to 5. Meaning, it doesn't really matter what the chart looks like. So on letter E, and I'll go through them. I'm just sort of writing them in. And again, it's sort of impossible. It will be impossible right now um, to define every news term. I can't be like, well, what if the CEO stuffed the secretary, Mr. Melnick? How bad would that be for the company? I don't know. What are the company policies? Is stuffing your employees legal? Was it consensual? Like, I can't go into every stupid detail. Some of the things are this again, you have to realize it's generalized. So if you're one of those people who take things way too literally, this isn't going to be helpful. Now, what do I mean by COVID-19? Well, if you're doing online learning, like the Boxlight, like the LRN, that's COVID-19. But Mark, no, it isn't. It's electronic uh, software that allows you to communicate online. Yes, based on to solve the issue of COVID-19. All right. Federal investigation. Um, so remember, when the company tweets, it's a one, but what if the company tweets about COVID? A company tweet coming out saying that their XYZ product is effective in insert word here, COVID-19, and then you have to add this number together. So that means, is it a four? Is it high? Not really. It's really just a very low and a medium. It doesn't, one plus four doesn't equal five. What if you have a very high and a three? There's no magical number eight. It's again a rough generalization. So if a company puts out a tweet like, we're going to be presenting at the National Institute of blah, 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 and that's it, and they're going to be doing a presentation there, nobody gives a crap. But if they're tweeting out, our nasal inhaler cures COVID, now you're dealing with curing COVID, etc. I mean, really, this could be three to five, actually. It depends. And again, it's a generalized conviction. It depends. Are you applying to start a phase one trial of COVID 19? Or do you have a vaccine that works supposedly for COVID 19? Police body cams. Did you sign an agreement with Boise, Idaho? The Boise, Idaho Police Department? Or did you do it with the NYPD or LAPD? You feel me? You see the difference? That is the difference. That is the difference. That is the difference. Now, if this is all too difficult for you to do in real time, okay, don't. I'll spit it out with my conviction. I'll do it for you. But if you want to know how I feel and how I derive it, now, why did I like Nutanix so much? Why Nutanix today? Why was I was, um, you know, there was takeover. There was the information. I didn't go over the whole thing at the time because we were busy trading, but the information's takeover target list and the takeover target list mentioned Nutanix, and Nutanix started flying on that news. And it was a potential talking about a takeover of Nutanix. That's why I tried to slam in the options and couldn't. Probably lost around 20, 30,000 in unrealized profits just by not being able to slam into it today. Okay. So that was very interesting. Um, okay. So a small company has a partnership with a large company. So for example, if some stupid small biotech like iBio signs a deal with Pfizer, you're not looking to buy Pfizer. You're looking to buy iBio because Pfizer doesn't matter. If a small company partners with a large company, for the small company, the conviction is higher. Okay. Nutanix. Okay. Nutanix. Either way, um, that's one way of doing it. Can you guys mention some other news flow? Mention something else. Oh, I got one. Option flow is generally 2 to 3, depending on the name. If the option flow is in a sexy name, what is a sexy name? Something that is very futuristic and unrealized. Space. SPC, option flow in space next week would be good. DraftKings, gambling during the COVID crisis would be big. Option flow in Pfizer, yeah, it could be scalpable, but it's lower. So I should probably say 1 to 3 because it could be option flow in a smaller name. Oh, you're being added into a major index and the news is coming out intraday. That's a 5. Why? Because okay. Um, mm, the numbers on the side are the conviction that are labeled on top under generalized terms. So Citron would be, for example, bashed by an analyst, social media, upgrade, or pumped would be the same thing. That would be letter E. Okay. Um, should also add downgrade here. What else am I missing news flow wise? Give me a headline. Oh, patent. That's usually through a tweet. Good one. Anything else? Oh, no IPO. Federal investigation would go under SEC investigation. Bailout, I don't know. Again, there's an infinite number of things. No, no, insider selling stock, no, not important enough, not common enough. Nothing that even pays to think about. CEO or CFO news, what does that mean? Does the CEO have heartburn? What happened? Was he in a car crash? Was he an important CEO? Government contract? That would be company deal. Just a company deal. Product recall? Yeah. I mean, if Tesla started recalling cars, that would be pretty bad. But if they were just recalling the camera, wouldn't be so bad. Health issues of CEO, like Warren Buffett for Berkshire. I mean, that's bad. If it's a famous CEO, that's very bad. I don't need to go into who famous, issue with a famous CEO is bad. It depends how bad. I mean, did Elon Musk catch a pneumonia, or God forbid he's in a car accident in critical condition? Again, there's an infinite number of headlines. If you think we could cover everything, you are sadly mistaken. China news depends. I'll leave that to your own discretion, Kevin. Competition news? Nah. Well, nah. Terrorist event is horrible. Depends to the magnitude. An act of terrorism. Political stuff is, we're going to run into a lot of political moves this year, obviously. It's going to be very simple. The way Wall Street views the candidates right now, as I see it, and again, maybe time will show differently, is Trump, good because of corporate tax cuts, Biden, bad because he wants to raise taxes on corporations. That's it. That's how the market, in my opinion, will interpret it, but we'll actually see. It's all about, you raise taxes on corporations, they'll make less money. Absolutely. Um, yeah, so that'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting. Military conflict, yeah, I mean, depends. It's not always, it's usually bullish, a military conflict. as long as a nuke doesn't go off. Are we invading Iran or are we at war, God forbid, with China? So you'll pretty much hear the severity of that in real time with my voice, but I think you could be a good judge of that. If Biden wins, would I short? No. We'll probably wake up with a gap down. But I'll tell you, before, so Trump, when he was running for office, didn't talk about corporate tax cuts. So when Trump actually won the election, the futures were down over 1,000 points overnight and opened up over 1,000 points. It was a 2,000 point swing by the time you woke up the next day after Trump got elected. I don't know if you guys remember that or if you're even watching futures. It was, I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like that. But then again, at the time, um, every time Hillary was ahead in the poll, the market would go higher. And every time Trump was ahead in the poll, the market would go lower. So you were able to short on that, but they had no corporate tax policy. The fact that both candidates are public right now with their corporate tax policies, it's probably going to be interpreted reverse this season. And I just want to point out right now, I can't stand election seasons as a news flow guy because a news flow headline will be like Biden ahead in the polls. All right. Okay. And you know, uh, like, oh my God, that's what they said last time. All the polls are BS. All the polls are this. I don't like this candidate. I don't like that candidate. For God's sakes, keep that expletive stuff out of this room. Do not make my job harder by just posting it. If I'm talking about a poll, it's because the market can move on it. If I'm talking about a poll, it's because the market can move up or down. Nobody really cares who you do or do not support. Don't share it. Just stating the obvious now because, you know, we're good at it actually. Other rooms are awful, but you know, we're all here and we all want to make money. Okay. So, just going back, I think this pretty much gives a really good broad view of the certain things that could come out. Company tweet is a one. I'll go over all the letters. Company deal with current issues, whether it's police body cam, whether it's a COVID-19. COVID-19 could be anything. It could be stay-at-home stuff. It could be going out with masks. It could be anything that has to do with COVID-19, online education, etc. Disease, major disease, like if somebody has like a cancer treatment, hopefully, or an AIDS thing, that could be obviously big. Company deal having a deal with the current issue is a very big thing. So a lot of times you're going to have to take part of these sort of clips and add them with another. And again, if this is too difficult for you, I promise you, I'm the only person out there on Wall Street that's even putting together a list like this. Okay, so keep that in mind. Pizza is a COVID play, yes, because people order pizza. It's crazy. Again, very general. Company exploring sale or potential buyers, a 4 to 5. The other things I have to mention too. Actually on this list. And then we'll talk about interpreting the chart. So the larger the green bar on good news, the less conviction. The smaller, the larger. Oh God, did I? Now you have to combine it with the chart. All right. So again, this is not the be all end all. If you see a big green bar, it depends. If you see a huge green bar and it was just like there was option flow activity and you already see a green bar like that, probably something you're going to want to avoid. So let's go back. So these are the generalized items. Remember, a headline can have several of these things. Company just tweeting out, we're going to be part of a conference. We're requiring all employees to wear face masks. Stupid stuff like that. 1 or 0 if they require to wear face masks. You don't touch it. Very low conviction. That's not helpful to anybody if you wear masks or not in terms of profitability, right? Company deal with a current issue. Police body cams again. The NYPD and LAPD are very different than the Rhode Island Police Department. COVID-19 is a general thing. It could do anything from online learning to testing to vaccines to whatever it is. Disease, cancer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Cancer is a very hot term, so certain diseases are worth more than others, like ocular macular degeneration, like is not going to spark the same response as cancer. Terrible, terrible disease. The terrible disease will get the more focus, as it should. Company comes out with a cure for something big, very big deal. Company exploring a sale or potential buyout, 4 to 5. A downgrade, Citron, bashed by an analyst, whatever, 3 to 4, depending on how bad it is. And again, I have to talk like that because this is a generalization and there's an infinite number of things that somebody could say. Note if it's lowered, if consistently being bashed, Citron, Muddy Waters, etc. If it's upgraded or pumped based on how high the target is from the stock's current price, 3 to 4. If somebody, for example, comes out on Apple and they're like, yeah, we're coming out with a $400 target on, well, move the thing. Okay. If somebody comes out for, why does it do that? Okay, there we go. If somebody comes out, for example, with a $400 target on Apple, you see Apple at 385 is not a big deal. If somebody comes out with a $700 target on Apple, it means a lot more. And granted, the smaller the company, it's easier to move than the largest publicly traded company in the United States. So yes, you do have to use, a little bit of logic. You can't just be like a straight up robot with this stuff. You have to think logically. A lot of logic is, integrated into this. Federal investigation depends what they're investigating. Are they investigating somebody for fraud or lying about their numbers? That's bigger than we're investigating the company because, men were being harassed. Women were being harassed by the sanitation department inside the firm. Not as big as, for example, an investigation based on something super serious from a financial perspective, like fudging numbers. Small company partnership with a large company. If small little crab biotech has a deal, if Genius, GNUS, has a deal with, ESPN, just making stupid stuff up, that would be huge for Genius. Option flow depends how heavy, usually between a 1 and 3, usually very scalpable. Being added to a major index like the Qs, IWMs, spiders, diamonds, etc., Russell 2000 is usually a 5, especially if the news just came out. Moderna was a good example. Made a lot of money on that. 13D filing based on what percentage of a stake and who took the stake. So, like, for example, Plug Power, Amazon took a stake in Plug Power, I don't know, some years ago, a couple of years ago or something. Plug shot up. Then Walmart took a stake in Plug Power afterwards, and Plug Power shot up. So, for example, Amazon taking a 10% stake is more important than XYZ Capital taking a 10% stake. That's usually a 2 to 4. It's based on the percent. If somebody's taking 30% of a company, it's huge. If they're taking a 7.2% stake, it can move, but it's not going to move as much. Patent news, unless the patent is a patent accepted for COVID, which again, you have to rate just patents normally as a 1, but you might have to add in also COVID if they use these terms. It's a patent for a police body cam that allows the integration of everything a police officer is doing throughout his day to be uploaded to a cloud and be viewed by a independent third party, blah, 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 blah. That's a hot issue. COVID-19, that's a hot issue. It's a patent that allows us to prevent cancer cells from multiplying. Then you have to take letter K. You have to take letter K here and then combine it with letter B. It's not just one of these things. CNBC pump, John Nigerian, ponytail, etc. Can be mentioned positively. It could be also a CEO interview on CNBC. It could be things like that. Usually a 2 to 3. Bankruptcy, usually a 3 to 4. That doesn't destroy companies filing bankruptcy. They keep going. These days. Active terrorism, God forbid, kills many people or kills an important person. Very big. If somebody, God forbids, runs with self-detonating explosive, an independent, an IED, and blows up and it kills like 2 people outside of a drugstore, that's not going to be the same as if, God forbid, somebody in high power was murdered. So that's the thing. Now, moving on, there's also more. There's chart. I keep the chart stuff very simple. The larger the green bar, the less conviction. So if you type it in and sometimes the bar is big. Now, what does that mean? Usually I'll look for the quicker trade on that. If you get a big green bar, I'll look for like a quicker trade. Like I don't really want to go like totally I don't want to go totally like Rambo on a green bar unless it's big. If I get like a huge green bar and then it's like the company has a vaccine for COVID, I don't give an F about the big green bar at that point. If there's a huge red bar and the company's like, we lied about our earnings, I don't really give an F about it at that point. So there are situations where it changes. But for example, if there was option flow and there's just a tiny little green bar, and look, well, it's a generalization. Like, how much, Mark? Should it be like 10% or higher than the prior candles? Like, you're thinking too hard. This is all generalization visually. There's no exact science to what I'm talking about right here, but this is a very, very, very accurate generalization. So these are news plays generalized with conviction terms and setups. It really helps me. Again, the majority of you guys are able to capitalize consistently on the news flow and are able to extract good money out of it. That doesn't mean every play works. That obviously doesn't mean every play fails. But I'm hoping by sharing this video and doing this video, I give you more of an insight to make that job of capitalizing on news flow a lot easier. And I know if you try to look this stuff on the internet, like where did you get this from? I know every single guru's information's on the internet. Like every single educational whatever you'll see anywhere is all over the internet. You just don't know where to look. All the same strategies are being used by different firms in different educational programs. Everywhere. Everywhere. T3's main program. That firm's main program. That firm's main program. All of them. It's nothing personal. There's nothing unique. Why lie to you? And that's why it all sucks at the same time. More importantly, they all suck. So, um, that's what it is. Will I be giving you conviction rating when I call? Of course not, Greg. Greg's asking, will I give a conviction rating when I call a news sim? Of course not. So, for example, if I say, all right, XYZ tweeting that their COVID-19 thing has been found effective in blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's a 1. That's plus I'd give it around a 4. That's pretty high conviction, guys. No, that's not happening. Nope. I'll be doing you a disservice is why it's not happening. Not because I don't want to do it. It's because I'll end up destroying you guys if I carry on like that while trying to figure it out in real time. I can't do it. I'd love to do it. Don't you? Blah blah blah. News flow. 3. What? Mark, but it was a quick scalp and went too many things going on. Pretty much what Dave is saying. Dave is saying if you're taking it, you should be in when he mentions COVID, for example, and if the bar looks okay. Exactly. If you're sitting there thinking at that point, that's what breaking news flow is. Timing is everything. Okay. Too late if you're thinking. Absolutely, Chrissy. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah.